I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation.
And if I were a lot younger, I would marry you. And we would have chubby little freckle-faced kids.
It's hard to understand the level of human cruelty.
Hollywood is no stranger to drama, and when it comes to calling out fellow celebrities, Jim Carrey seems to have mastered the art. But before we dive into his recent tiff with Will Smith, let's not forget that Carrey himself is no stranger to scandalous headlines. In a twist that has left many scratching their heads, Jim Carrey recently publicly called out none other than the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith. The reason? Carrey accused Smith of perpetrating the Academy Awards Slapgate incident while not acknowledging his own checkered past. In a 2022 appearance on CBS Mornings, Carrey told the world just how he felt about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Not only that, he had some harsh words on how the audience at the Oscars handled the situation as well. Here's what he said.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
Carrey said Smith should have been escorted out of the Oscar ceremony after he slapped Rock. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous, Carrey said. That insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and show disapproval, or say something on Twitter, that's fine. But you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words. Carrey concluded, the slap came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated. I wish him the best. I have nothing against Will Smith. He's done great things, but that was not a good moment. It cast a shadow over everyone's shining moment last night. It was a selfish moment. Ironically, this situation presents a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. Jim Carrey, despite his polished public image, has had his fair share of eyebrow-raising controversies, particularly during the Oscars. Back in his heyday, Carrey's comedic antics often veered into the realm of controversy, and the Oscars weren't immune to his unique brand of disruption. His 1995 red carpet appearance, where he wore shoes on his hands and hilariously disrupted interviews, remains etched in Oscar history. While his antics were brushed off as comedic quirkiness, they undoubtedly challenged the decorum of the prestigious event. And let's not overlook Carrey's own personal life controversies. After Carrey's tirade against Smith, details of his own problematic past resurfaced. Making the rounds on Twitter was a video of Carrey, then 35, kissing Alicia Silverstone without her consent at the 1997 MTV Movie Awards, leading to accusations of SA. Silverstone, who was just 20 at the time, was visibly upset after the ordeal. Per The Independent, she deemed the kiss humiliating, and Carrey later apologized to her backstage. What's more, with a Hollywood career spanning an impressive 3 decades, one would assume that Jim Carrey, the seasoned entertainer, had mastered the delicate art of handling interviews with poise and grace. However, even the most experienced industry veterans are not immune to the occasional verbal misstep. Enter the cringe-inducing interview that took place between Carrey and the unsuspecting reporter Charlotte Long, leaving us all with raised eyebrows and awkward shivers down our spines. In a fateful rendezvous that transpired back in 2020, Jim Carrey sat down for an interview with the Heat's reporter Charlotte Long. Little did anyone expect that this meeting would turn into a cringeworthy spectacle that would be etched in Hollywood's gossip annals. As the conversation meandered through Carrey's illustrious career and aspirations, Long, perhaps naively, broached the subject of Carrey's bucket list.
And in the film, Sonic has a bucket list, and I was wondering, after all you've done in your career and in your life, is there anything still left on your bucket list?
Just you.
Thereafter, the actor told the reporter to just own it before she swiftly changed the subject. Later on, Carrey was slammed for what many deemed a creepy and inappropriate remark. At the time, one fan wrote to Charlotte saying, "Such a huge fan of Jim Carrey but lost respect for him today. This is really unacceptable. I wish and hope he apologizes to you, but you handled it really well. More power to you." Meanwhile, some fans defended Carrey's flirty remarks while other fans admitted they just saw it as a joke. One fan commented, "So, obviously I'm one of the few that didn't see it as creepy. Just Jim Carrey making a joke. Yeah, maybe not the best one. Still, kudos Charlotte Long for laughing it off and carrying on professionally like a champ." In any case, what angered many people was how Jim responded to the uproar from fans. One of his reps spoke to Page 6 and described the incident as ridiculous. They said, "This is a ridiculous non-story. The full quote was, 'Just you. That's it. I'm all done now.'" Jim was clearly referring to the interview as being on his bucket list and was in no way referring to the journalist herself. This is just another example of a clickbait headline pandering to scroll culture. But this wouldn't be the first time the actor displayed seemingly inappropriate behavior toward a female interviewer. At New York Fashion Week in 2017, Carrey repeatedly circled around an reporter, moving close toward her, before lamenting the meaninglessness of the event, which he bizarrely branded the lowest aiming possibility.
Say, Jim Carrey. Yes.
What?
I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets?
What's more, Jim has also faced some pretty serious legal entanglements. You see, Jim Carrey is renowned for being unusually open about his love life. Previous noteworthy partners include Oscar winner Renee Zellweger, whom he once declared the greatest love of his life. In 2012, Carrey began dating Irish national Catriona White. In contrast to his previous high-profile relationships, White was a relatively unknown makeup artist, and with an age gap of 23 years, they made an unlikely pair. The relationship ended in tragedy when White died by suicide in 2015. She was just 30. Following White's death, a number of unsavory accusations came to light. As reported by The Guardian, White's ex-husband, Mark Burton, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey, alleging that he provided White with the drugs that would ultimately end her life. After her death, Mr. Carrey took steps to conceal and obfuscate his involvement and culpability in Miss White's untimely and tragic death, alleged Burton's suit. This was in reference to a seemingly suspicious text Carrey sent White when she died, asking where his pain medication was. He also claimed that Carrey was manipulative and controlling over his ex amid allegations that the actor installed round-the-clock surveillance in White's home. A second wrongful death suit was then filed by White's mom, Bridget Sweetman. Apparently, Sweetman accused Carrey of subjecting her daughter to mental AB and giving her unmentionable illnesses. The lawsuits were eventually dismissed, with Carrey claiming in a countersuit that Burton and Sweetman merely sought to extort money from him. In any case, as all these illustrations have shown, Jim is definitely in no place to slam Will Smith. You see, following the notorious Oscars slap incident, Smith quickly donned the armor of humility. He stepped forward and issued a public apology not only to Chris Rock, but to all parties embroiled in the incident. It was a moment of accountability that demonstrated a level of maturity that even Hollywood's heavyweights occasionally find elusive. He wrote, "Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." In the cacophony of Hollywood scandals and skirmishes, apologies can sometimes get lost in the noise. Yet Smith's step toward reconciliation showcases a dimension of character that might not have been evident at the glitzy Oscars stage. What's more, there were rumors that Smith even went further to attend therapy. After the incident, Smith kept a relatively low profile and was seen on April 23, 2022 in Mumbai, India, where a source told people he was there to focus on spirituality, yoga, and meditation. In any case, fans have been vocal about Carrey's hypocrisy in all this. Jim Carrey be like, "I can force kiss someone, but Will Smith cannot slap a guy who made fun of a medical condition and his wife. Hollywood hypocrisy," one fan commented. A second fan added, "This is 100% racially motivated. Jim Carrey S.'ed a woman live on stage and she was visually distressed. Will Smith slaps a dude for mocking an illness and gets banned for a decade." In any case, the actions of both Will and Jim cannot be justified and deserve punishment. But why then did Hollywood only punish one person? Well, that's a story for another day. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.